Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another video. Today I am back with another plan with me. This is for the week of the 3rd to the 9th of April in my Tilly Journals Functional Flexi Planner 7x9, and I'm using the Lord of the Rings kit. It was probably called Fellowship from Scribble Co, and I'm using some gold foil which is from Caress Press in the Dragonfly bundle because I thought it just really had those like fantasy vibes. And I do then show in a minute some extra things which I don't use, like random leaves and flower patterns and stuff like that, but I don't end up using any of these. And then I don't know why I had this random bow washi there because I don't use the random bow washi. So I am so excited to have finally done this spread. So the Fellowship art is drawn by Kitnish Jess, my favourite planner artist, we all know. And this kit came out a couple of years ago when Jess drew it, and I bought it immediately. I loved the SPC version, particularly the toolbox that I put in the left hand side, in the sidebar, why did I say left hand side? In the sidebar. And I was just so excited to use this kit, and it came in and out of my lineup a lot. I would like put it in for my dad's, like, no, not my dad's birthday because that's Halloween, but like for Father's Day, or I would put it in for Stuart's birthday, or I would put it in for other reasons. And I just never had the perfect moment, you know. There was always something else that could have gone better in the week, because Lord of the Rings can definitely speak to multiple people in my life. So my dad in particular, like if I think of Lord of the Rings, I think of my dad. He's a big fan of Lord of the Rings, and I remember being a kid and him watching like all 3 films back to back with his friend. So like, you know, I think of that. My brother is also big into Lord of the Rings as well. My brother's actually named after Samwise Gamgee, so you know, like Lord of the Rings is big in my family. And then Stuart is also a massive Lord of the Rings fan. He went on a trip to New Zealand before I met him and did like a massive tour of Hobbiton and stuff. So we have a huge Lord of the Rings map as like the feature art piece in our living room, you know. Lord of the Rings is big in our lives. And I am also personally a Lord of the Rings fan. So for my 11th birthday, I think 11th or 12th, I had a Lord of the Rings birthday party, and my mum handmade me the Arwen dress that is on that Arwen on the Friday box. How cool is that? I don't think I have any photos, or I would include them here, but if I do have any, they'll be at my mum's. So yeah, and it was amazing. Like my Arwen dress was beautiful. It was like velvet, and then she made an Éowyn dress. Is it the same? No, because Éowyn's in her like battle gear here, but she made my friend Jade an Éowyn dress. And I had a giant picture of Orlando Bloom as Legolas on my bedroom wall. Like my real obsession with Lord of the Rings, to be honest, was that I wanted to marry Orlando Bloom. He was my massive celebrity crush when I was a kid. So yeah, I had this giant picture. I have one of him as Legolas and one of him as Will Turner. So that's some embarrassing cat information for you. So yeah, I had that. And we also, was it at school? We had like, you know, sometimes at the cinema they have those giant cutouts of like movie posters. We had a Lord of the Rings one in our classroom in year 6 because like one of our friends must have got it and we were all obsessed with it, so we kept it at school for it to like be kept fair. So yes, big Lord of the Rings fans. So you know, this kit could have been used for so many different things, but this was the perfect week. I'm glad I saved it. If you don't know, I'm very particular about saving kits for the perfect week, and this was the perfect one. So this was the week that we watched all 3 Lord of the Rings films back to back. We did that on the Sunday. I'll talk about more when we get there. So this was actually Easter weekend. We watched it on Easter Sunday, but I didn't use an Easter kit this year. I actually don't think I have any Easter kits in my stash, right? No, I do have one. I'm pretty sure I didn't use that kit. So I think I have one Easter kit, which I've been saving for a few years, but I was like, this is more important. Like, I don't imagine I will ever again watch all 3 extended editions of The Lord of the Rings in one day. You know, I just don't picture that being a thing that happens. So I felt that this was, you know, this had to supersede Easter. So at the moment, I'm just laying down all the boxes. It is painful watching me do this. I filmed the actual plan with me for this a few weeks ago, And it is painful watching me attempt to do this because that like flippy box on Saturday and Sunday. So there was so many boxes with this kit and I wanted to use them all, but I wasn't really sure how to do it. So for the Saturday and Sunday, I decided to do the like inside of Bilbo's house, and then you flip it open and then you have the fellowship on either side. I felt it was, you know, you go outdoors into the adventure. You know, I felt it worked. It's a shame to cover my boy like that, my beautiful Orlando, but I felt it was what worked most with the spread. I've obviously got the Arwen and the Eowyn boxes. The only box I didn't use was there was a box of Frodo and Sam, and I didn't have another space for another box. I guess I could have done some more flippy things, but I didn't have enough in the week to include it. So I have missed out Frodo and Sam. I'm very sorry, but like they're in the fellowship boxes. I felt it was okay. If I was going to miss out anything, I felt missing out Frodo and Sam was okay. And then the foil bundle for this. So as I say, I use the Dragonfly foil bundle from Crest Press and I really love it. It's so like outdoorsy that I think it really works with this kit. But my regrets are the bottom washi. So the bottom washi has the like one ring to rule them all script on it. So absolutely perfect. Definitely wanted to use that. Like, I have really vivid memories of being sat at our dining room table with my dad. My dad can recite the one ring to rule them all speech, so that has that. But then above it, I used the top washi from the Crest Press bundle, obviously thinking I would use the bottom one as well. But of course I wasn't going to use the bottom because it then covers the script. And I really wished I'd used the bottom one because dragonflies do not actually lean into Lord of the Rings in any way. So I wish that I'd actually used the bottom one, which was more like the pattern that's on the headers. And I just think it would have looked more kind of like ethereal, I guess. But I tried to take it up and that was already stuck down. So, that was a regret. But it's fine. I don't think you can tell. Like, looking at it now, like I'm looking at it while I do this plan with me, and you can't tell that I tried to take it up. So yeah, so I had to leave it because I don't have like undo or anything. So that was a bit of a shame, but I'm still really happy with how the spread came out. I love the colours, particularly the like Arwen dress colour being in this. I love, and I love the patterns that are in the boxes, particularly the pattern on the like brown boxes. I really love it. And it's been a while since I've planned with an SPC kit. Have I done any SPC kits this year? I don't know. Let me do a quick. It's been a very planner face heavy year, just in terms of the spreads. Oh yeah, I used the Frozen Woods kit, but that was a mini kit and then I had extras from another one. So I'm not sure I would necessarily count that. And I think every other one has been planner face other than one Pink Diamond Planner Co. Oh, and I used the Lucky kit as well, but that was quite an old format. So again, not particularly like, I haven't really planned with an SPC kit properly for a little while, but especially not an Ultimate kit, which is what this was, because I really wanted that box that goes in the sidebar. So it was kind of luxurious to have so much box choice, you know, because I could use so many little things because I had enough. So it was really nice. It was a very pleasant planning experience, this one. Yeah, so let's get into the day by day. So with the day by day, just to let you know, I don't say where each of the stickers is from. So most of my functional stickers are from Planner Face, Scribble Prints Co., Stick with the Plan Co., Papershire, Coffee Monsters Co., Once More with Love, Joy of Planning. But if you do want to know where any particular stickers are from, please let me know and I'll be more than happy to answer for you. So first off, on Monday, I marked that I had a productive day. Great. But that was followed by having to go to IT about my laptop. So basically my work laptop it lasts off battery, like being plugged in, for under an hour, right? And well, it was at this point, and I like every meeting I had to remember my charger, and if I didn't, my laptop would just die before the end of the meeting. So I went to IT about it, and apparently my laptop had switched itself onto like best performance, so that was obviously draining the battery, and we switched that off, but it still isn't much better. I can just last one meeting now, and even that is a bit risky. So I turned down the performance again because I think my laptop like automatically puts the performance back up. So I put the performance down again, but I don't think it's really helping. So really I do need to go to them again and ask them to give me a new laptop, but they were very reluctant. So I'm trying to just remember to take my charger everywhere with me. Then I finished Hang the Moon, which I spoke about last week. If you didn't see that plan with me, Hang the Moon is the second in the Written in the Stars series by Alexandria Belfleur. And this one is about Brendan, who's like a total cinnamon roll main character, and Annie, who's his best friend from childhood, and she's still best friends with his sister. And she comes to Boston to give Annie some news that she's actually going to be moving to London, but Annie is on holiday with her girlfriend, and so Brendan sort of agrees to look after her and show her around, and then realizes that Annie's like fallen out of love with love, and he runs a dating app, so he wants to like help her fall back in love with love, and it's just adorable. Brendan is so cute. It made me so happy. It's one of my favorite books so far this year. Like, I loved it. I'm sure that everyone else prefers number 1 and number 3 because they're a bit more like enemies to lovers and grumpy sunshine, but it's just Brendan and Annie are for me. Then after that I went to see Kermode in 3D. So Mark Kermode is a film critic, and he does a show once a month at the BFI where he sort of brings on directors and actors and stuff, and they speak about upcoming film releases. What angle is this that I'm currently doing? Why am I so far off screen? I'm so sorry. What a terrible angle. Oh my word. And the fact I like haven't edited it out. Oh, there we go. She's back. So yeah, me and my dad went to Kermode in 3D, and we then went and had some pizza together afterwards. I would think at the BFI restaurant. They have nice pizza there. And then after that I had chats with Stuart. There are some days where I just will commandeer his time late into the night, speaking to him about big life things he probably doesn't want to chat about at that time of night, and that was probably one of those. Then on Tuesday, fun, I was on leave this week. Why did I just work on Monday? That's so random. And like because I was going to Kermode, so I was like, there's no point me taking the day off. So I was off work the rest of this week, so that's great. And so I filmed A Plan With Me. This was, realistically, I'm always like at least 3 months behind, so it was probably like a January plan with me. Then I had a YouTube binge, probably reading ones, because I then film reading wrap up. Oh, that would have been my reading journal, I guess. Oh no, this was maybe I was still filming separate wrap up videos possibly before my reading journal. It was possibly a dedicated reading wrap up. I don't film dedicated reading wrap ups anymore. They didn't perform as well on my channel, so I film reading journal videos instead. So if you haven't checked those out and you think you would like it, it is mostly me journaling, but I do talk about like each of the books that I read and what I thought, and I go through my stats and stuff. It's very fun. I enjoy it. And yeah, but back then I was probably still filming the reading wrap-ups. Then I was editing, obviously, because I'd filmed a couple of things. Then we were watching Bad Batch, which I've spoken about a few times, but it is a Star Wars cartoon series. And I really loved the first season, but the second season just was not up to par. So I let Stuart finish the series out with me because I just was not interested in finishing it. And then I was doing YouTube work. Possibly this was when I was moving my reading content back to my planning channel. In fact, that I think this would be about right. So I would have been like updating end cards and intros and all that kind of stuff. Then on Wednesday, I marked that I was off work again. Then I was doing more editing, and I think I spent a lot of this week doing filming and editing stuff. Then I haven't written therapy there, but I've used that therapy sticker from Stick With The Plan Co. This was probably my second therapy session. I feel like I am so like, yeah, I had one the week before. So yeah, this was my second therapy session. And I then had a breakdown afterwards because the early stages of therapy were so hard for me because I went into therapy for one thing and came out kind of working on another. And it's obviously very hard when you are like having to address what's going on with you in so many ways. And I think this was the day when I came out of therapy and I literally just sat on the kitchen floor and cried for about 45 minutes. It was just like so intense, and back then I also had to sort of write down my emotions like every day, and every time I had like a negative thought I had to write it down, and so it's like it really gets to you. But that's part of the process. Then I went and collected my medication. I love those medication stickers from Plannerface. Just love that I have those now. And where I pick up my medication, they have a few shops there. So I popped into Lidl. Lidl is so fascinating to me. I went into Lidl yesterday as well in my time. And like they have such a good range of things, but you can just never find the same things twice. I always just find that so weird with Lidl. Apart from Nutella biscuits, I found those a couple of times. They're so good if you haven't had those. Then I marked that I was pulling stickers. So this was a week where I was like very big into pulling stickers, and I did like multiple pulled stickers for a lot of Plan With Me's like in batch, which is really good because it meant I could keep going with a lot of these Plan With Me's. And I am running out of having done that now, so I think I've only got like a couple that are actually pulled now. And it's not my favourite thing to do. It's not like I often sit there in the mood to want to pull stickers. So when I am in the mood, it's really important that I push through and do loads of it. And then I marked that I was reading You and Me on Vacation. So this is an Emily Henry book about, I don't remember the names of the characters. Do I have my reading journal here? It's so funny because I gave the book 5 stars, but I do not remember what the names of the characters were. I'm just flicking through my reading journal. So if that's when I read Written in the Stars. Right, I need to go to April, don't I? So go back a page. See, this is why having a reading journal is useful. Poppy and Alex. And it's basically about Poppy and Alex have been friends over this course of like 10 years, and they go on holiday every year, but then something happens at one of the holidays, and you're sort of constantly in the present, but also looking back to the past to discover like what happened with Poppy and Alex. I mean, it's kind of obvious what happened with them if you read the first few chapters. But I really liked it. I really liked them. I loved Alex. And yeah, I really love Emily Henry's books. And this, I actually was filming this because I have an Emily Henry reading vlog where I was reading like the first 3 of her big books that have come out. And I had started that in August last year, and then I got really ill, so I wanted to finish it. So I was finally reading You and Me on Vacation to finish that vlog, and it's up on my channel if you would like to read it. Then on Thursday, I was off work again, reading more You and Me on Vacation. I probably finished it that day. I read it very quickly because it was so good. Then I went to Tesco. Then I marked that I started my period, so then I was just laying on the sofa because my periods are only bad for the first day, I would say. I'm quite lucky in that sense. But they're like very heavy on day 1 and then very light for like 4 days. And so the first day is like kind of horrible. Then I marked that, oh, I vlog, yes, because I have the You and Me Vacation. This is all vlogged. It kind of helps when I do vlogs. I can picture things. So I then, it was all like a bit emotional in this week, and obviously the period didn't help with that. And then we went to see Dungeons and Dragons this day, which I really enjoyed. Actually, I don't play D&D. I kind of wish I did. I enjoy watching people play D&D, but I don't play it because I have concerns around how I would handle improv, which is ridiculous with someone with a musical theatre degree, I know, but I'm a catch-22, what can I say? But Stuart met us there from work, so I went with Stuart's friends. Bearing in mind, these are friends I know really well, you know, I've been friends with them for like 4 years. But I was like, I got myself into a real tears about like being with them without Stuart, and it was obviously fine. Like, I'm very close to both of them in my own friendship, so it was like really unnecessary worrying. But yeah, we went to Nando's and then went to Dungeons and Dragons. But then I marked that I was in my feelings. It was just a big day. You know, you can really see it in the vlog that I was like really struggling around this time. And it was difficult to decide whether or not to use that like happy 111, like happy 11th, however they say it, birthday, but because it wasn't anyone's birthday, but I really liked the box, so I did decide to just put it in there. Then on Friday, the stunning Arwen box. This is like the whole reason I love this kit, is that Arwen box. So I marked that it was Bank Holiday Friday because it was Easter weekend. So I was doing some more editing first thing in the morning because I wake up early every morning, whether it's work or not. So I just got up and editing. Like this morning, Stuart didn't mean to, but he woke me up when he left for work at 7. So like I've been up for hours already. It's only like 9:43 when I'm filming this. Then we played Pandemic Legacy. So Pandemic Legacy, this is Pandemic Legacy Season 2. So Pandemic Legacy is a board game where you are trying to stop a pandemic from spreading over the world. And we played the first season of it during lockdown. And then Season 2, we've played a lot slower. But I really enjoy playing Pandemic because it's a cooperative game. I'm not hugely into board games. Stuart is big into board games. It's like his major hobby. But I don't mind board games, but I'm very wary about playing competitive ones because I don't feel I have the brain for board games. So it's nice to play a cooperative one because then I can like make decisions with Stuart, and I'm in charge of like, we have a dedicated, we finished it now, but we have a dedicated Notion for Pandemic Legacy Season 2. So that's my role during playing Pandemic. Then I marked that I was in my feels. I was still struggling from the day before. Then I made a gusto meal, and that gusto meal script is a custom from Plannerface, so I'm sorry you won't be able to get that. Then I marked that we were watching Mandalorian. I love the like Grogu sticker from Stick with the Planko there. So yeah, we were watching Mandalorian, which is I mean, you know what it is. It's the Star Wars TV show with Grogu, and Grogu's my whole world. I didn't like this season as much as the other two, but I do love The Mandalorian. It's peak Star Wars in my opinion. Then I made some brownies because we were going to be watching Lord of the Rings and I wanted to contribute some baked goods. And then I marked that I read I Think Our Son Is Gay Volume 2, which is a manga about a guy called Hiroki who doesn't really realise that he's gay. And his mum does know, but doesn't know how to approach it with him because it's not really like a thing that is spoken about in their culture. It's really good. I really enjoy it. Then on Saturday, I marked that I was doing sticker sorting very early in the morning because we actually like went out for this day. It was a busy weekend. So I got up very early to work on some sticker sorting, which I assume I filmed. I would be unlike me if I didn't. Then we went into London and we went to the Battersea Power Station because we were going to watch a show over there. So first up we went to Leon for lunch, and I've never had Leon before. I thought it was going to be more like McDonald's. I was quite surprised that it wasn't. And my meal was okay, but I don't think I would choose to go there again. Then I marked that I was feeling anxious. I'd never been to Battersea Power Station before, and if I haven't been somewhere before, I do get quite anxious. I don't know how things work, and it does like worry me a bit, so I was feeling anxious. But we then went book shopping, so everything was fine. So I have a vlog for this as well that's like separate to the Emily Henry vlog, I believe. I think there's a separate one for this. So we went to... we went book shopping, and the Battersea Power Station bookshop's really good. It's really big and they have really like a really good range of books there, and I picked up a couple of graphic novels and a couple of YAs. So I don't think I've read any of them. But that's fine. That's fine, right? Then we just walked around Battersea. It was such a nice day and everyone was there walking their dogs, which was fun. And yeah, we just like enjoyed the sun and kind of got used to the area, and it was just really nice. It was a really nice day with my parents. Then we watched Eugenius, which is a really good musical and completely underrated musical. It's like a superhero musical where this guy writes basically a comic that gets turned into a movie. The music is amazing. It's so underrated. If you can ever listen to it online, please do. It's on YouTube. It's so good. And then I was reading The First 15 Lives of Harry August, which is a sci-fi book about a guy that when he dies, he comes back to life. And it's a very interesting premise, but the book was so long and it ends in the most bizarre way. And I invested so much time in this book that I was just very sad that it had gone so quickly, but I'll talk more about it next week because I focus more on it on Monday. Then on Sunday, more sticker sorting, and then we went to my friend Tom's, well, Stuart's friend Tom's, and we watched all 3 Lord of the Rings movies back to back. With the first one and the second one, we literally went straight in. We had bacon sandwiches like during watching them as like a brunch. Then we stopped after Two Towers for dinner, and we had a really lovely butternut squash pie, and then we watched Return of the King, and then it was a late night obviously because we watched all of them. We started at like 11 and finished at 11, so it was like 12 hours of watching Lord of the Rings. So that is everything for this week's plan with me, and I'm just showing you the leftovers in the kit. I don't have much left over in the kit, so it's not one that will go in my B6 leftovers album. If you did enjoy this video, I would really appreciate a like, and if you haven't already, I would love it if you would subscribe. In the description I will have a link to my Instagram and my Goodreads if you want to check out any other content from me. Otherwise, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!